I wanted to bring us up to speed to where we're currently at. Within the last few weeks, we've been exploring the wounded themes of consciousness and how we transition into the healing themes. Through our exploration, we finally landed in the enlightenment theme of consciousness. So, in the previous episode, we spoke about love and inner peace. We are ushered into the most freeing and the best way through which we can experience life. With love and inner peace underscored by gratitude as the primary emotion, we are grateful for the life that we live. We are grateful for the experiences that we have. And every interaction is very beneficial in the scheme of things. Not only do we get to experience the benefits in all of these, right? We understand that in previous themes of consciousness, it really wasn't the experiences themselves that were questionable. It was more so how we chose to see them. And coming from a place of love, we're able to see the benefits, see a reason for gratitude in every of our interaction. We also explored that to access this theme, we get to ask ourselves, how can our thoughts and actions best benefit ourselves and others? And so at this point, we are not just grateful for the life that we live, we're not just finding the benefits in the things that we do, but we're ensuring that just as the love starts from us, starts from how we show up for ourselves, we're able to let that ripple into the world around us. We're able to show up for other people in that same capacity, creating a loving world, inspiring others, inspiring ourselves, loving others, loving on ourselves. And I mentioned you can only meet someone to a degree with which you met yourself and loving yourself in the ways that makes the most sense to you. And that is the degree of love that you would be able to give to the next person. But yes, all of that to say, love truly creates that connection across all. It brings the oneness into the picture. And the more that we show up in love, it naturally evolves into the unconditional nature of love. That in itself presents a limitation, the possibility that we do not love unconditionally. We love based on certain circumstances or preferences. And as we evolve, we truly start seeing the benefits in every single interaction, even the ones that we may not necessarily prefer. We're able to expand. And as we love, we allow everyone, everything we come in contact with, experience freedom and their own unique expression of God. If you feel like you need more details or some of the things I'm saying are going over your head, I would highly recommend that you go back to the previous episodes and just look through them. The description really does help because I give a lot of the details on what these specific episode speaks on, so then you could just navigate accordingly. But yeah, let's get into it. World did not give us, we start to see how we can give that love to ourselves. And not only can we give that love to ourselves, the love that we give to ourselves can ripple through. And so if we start being unconditionally loving overall, we start loving the parts of ourselves that we couldn't even love before because there were certain preferences, right? And I'll use myself for an example. I used to not like how my nose looked because I felt like I had a big nose, right? And that's still something that I'm growing into. But when I started coming to terms of unconditional love, it made me look at everything as, you know, at the end of the day, everything is connected to God. It's that oneness. We are all the same. The more that you embody unconditional love, you start to see how it pours back into you just as much as you're putting that love out there. So it really solidifies the oneness across. And each of these preferences are yet again just an expression of the multiple ways and the multiple existences that God has embodied as us, right? And we are an image of Him, we're God's image. So we're just multiple expressions of him. So for us to pick preferences would be for us to start picking favorites, and that would limit the love that we can show to our own self, limit the experiences of God in our life. Because if we are an image of God and we are made in the image of God, then of course, if we start having preferences, it limits how much we see God's hand in our lives. And the more that the more you play around with this concept for yourself, the more you understand the concept of unconditional love, the more you embody it, you just see how it plays out. It just expands you, and you realize that you are more than the things that you thought you were. With that comes freedom, because you love regardless of, you love just because you're able to love everyone around you, love yourself, love every part of yourself, and even the parts that you would deem as, not good enough. You accept it, you feel worthy in it, you love it. Like, you're grateful for it, you're grateful for what it does for you, right? And you just love it. It becomes life just becomes that thing that you flow through. Things don't have to look a certain way. You're able to see the positive in everything, right? And that's something this book does shine light on. At the end of the day, the reason you have preferences is because you see the benefit of that thing, whatever that means to you, right? You see the benefit of that thing. But if you're being very honest with yourself, there's always a positive way to look at things. There's always a positive part of even the things that are not the best things, even the things that look wrong or bad, or there's always a positive way to look at it, right? And at the end of the day, we're the ones that are attaching that perception of preferences to it. We're the ones attaching that perception of, oh, this thing is good or this thing is bad. Because even the good has its own disadvantages, even the bad has its own advantages. So once we start tuning more into the positive side of things, we stop focusing on why we do not like this thing and focus on why we could possibly like it. And so if we've been conditioned to seeing preferences, which again is how our environment, society, culture shaped us. And that's okay. But at this point, we realize that we are all connected. We're all one and the same. The depth that you meet yourself is how you meet other people, and vice versa. So at the end of the day, I am you and you are me, right? As much as, you're your own individual version of yourself, as in you're your own individual expression of God, we're still connected in a way. So if we feel that there is that connection and that connection exists, and we believe in that, then there is no need for preferences, right? Once we stop attaching those stories of, oh, this is why I prefer this because the because becomes the benefits that you're gaining from that thing. And if you zoom into the thing that you say you do not like and try to see the benefit of that thing, you would focus more on the benefit. And over time, the perceived negativity would fizzle away, because in reality that doesn't really exist. It is the conditioning that you have attached to it. So now, if you're training yourself to see things differently, then you are reconditioning, reprogramming your mind to stop picking out things that you do not like, or picking out the shortcomings of things, and looking at it from that place. But yeah, with unconditional love, we're able to see the benefits and positives in everything. The book also made us understand that everything is an expression of God, and we're all one, just in different ways, different expressions. So to not love any part of that expression is to not love God in itself. And for you to love God, it means that you're able to love yourself
and love your neighbor and love everyone because we're all the same. So once we start to see it in this way, we stop looking at it like, oh yeah, there's a preference of some sort. No, it doesn't have to be, right? You can start perceiving this from a different angle, and you see that it's all one thing, it's all the same thing, it's all connected, and you can love it all. And when you love it all, that is true freedom, because when you love unconditionally, you love regardless of. So whatever happens, you're cool with it. And not even cool. You're grateful for it because you see the positives in everything. You see the benefits in every situation. And you're able to love it unconditionally. And even though you don't see the benefits, you love it still, right? You love it still because you know the same depth you are able to accept and love and show that unconditional love is the same way that you show yourself that unconditional love. So the more you pour into the concept of unconditional love on an external level, the more you even love yourself more. And that just makes you want to keep going in the direction of unconditional love. There's yet again an opportunity for us to expand and evolve and change. And unconditional love is the true invitation. It's the invitation to true freedom and lasting happiness. Nothing can take your joy away. You are blissful, transcendence. You are in that headspace of everything being perfect and good. And everything is perfect and good. And when you start to believe this, you start to see this, and it reinforces your belief that everything is perfect and good. Could be difficult with coming from a place of wounding for sure. But as we heal, as we reinforce our worthiness, we start seeing the inherent worthiness of things. We start appreciating things for what they are just because they exist, right? We start paying more attention to the flowers outside and how beautiful they are. And we see that everything is happening in its own way, in its own synchronicity. Like it's just happening, and we're grateful for that, and we honor that. And everything is free to be its own self, its own expression of self. And that's the same way you're also free to be your own expression of self. And once you start keying into that freedom and joy, genuine joy and bliss, you don't expect anything external to be a certain way because you love it unconditionally. So there's no need to even control anything or resist anything, because everything is happening for your greater good. Even the seemingly bad things, right? We start to understand that love also comes through the form of challenging experiences. The lessons that we're able to learn give room for us to expand even more. It creates that contrast so that when we come back, we meet ourselves with deeper understanding, we meet ourselves with more depth. And just as much as we have gone through that challenge and we've learned the